Hey, welcome to today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about how to overcome procrastination. Hey, Mike, can you just kick us off by sharing a little bit about what procrastination is and some of the internal symptoms that we experience when we're going through an episode of procrastination?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Welcome into today's episode. Scott, what's up, brother? And yeah, I mean, just with procrastination, there's so much hype behind it in the personal growth space. And right before we recorded this episode, you were like, well, procrastinating is not always bad, right? I mean, sometimes things are just not in alignment, and that's why we procrastinate, because we're kind of like, is this really like what I should be moving towards? But ultimately, when we want something, when we really desire something, like we're trying to quit our job and get this entrepreneurial gig off the ground, like we know that we want to become a full-time entrepreneur, and we're procrastinating on it, it's not good, right? And I know that just out of experience, when I was trying to get my own life coaching biz off the ground before Scott, me and you started working together, I was dealing with all of the symptoms of procrastination. Now, procrastination is interesting because like people will experience the fear of failure and they wouldn't say I'm procrastinating. You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, maybe I'm dealing with a fear of failure, or they'll come up with excuses like, oh, I don't want to go broke, or this isn't going to work out, or I just don't really know my niche, enough. The symptoms of procrastination are fear of failure, it's overthinking, it's indecision, it's kind of like that stalling where like we go and we create alibis where we're like, oh, well, the timing isn't right, I don't have enough money, now isn't the right time, I'm waiting on this, this thing or the other. A lot of the times too, it's like sometimes just feeling overwhelmed. And Scott, you can totally resonate with me on that one, right? Like when we're feeling overwhelmed or we're holding on to like negative limiting beliefs, these are just some of the things that happen when we're actually dealing with procrastination.
I would add something that one of my mentors says, and he says, stop shooting on yourself. And, it's that list of things that you should do. Oh, I should start working on my business plan, or I should start looking into some potential mentor solutions to help me through these roadblocks that I'm experiencing. I should clean my truck. I should get my life in order. When we just put all of these things on our should list, we spend so much of our wasted energy just shooting on ourselves and thinking about what we know we should do instead of taking the actions that are necessary to actually accomplish what we desire to do. So, Mike, we've talked a little bit about some of the symptoms and some of the internal things that people might be experiencing when going through procrastination. Why do we as humans actually procrastinate, though?
Yeah, here's the real reason, because a lot of the times when people are stuck in a procrastination loop, they go into the I should do this, and then it's like, well, I know that I'm procrastinating, so they think that, well, I'll just solve the procrastination and go take action. You're not going to solve procrastination by taking action, because the fundamental problem of why you procrastinate is not a lack of action. The fundamental problems is twofold. One, you lack a definite purpose and clear vision for your life, plain and simple. When you have a burning desire for something, I was explaining this to my buddy the other night. When you go out, and I'm going to give a few examples here, but when you're out and it's been maybe a long day in the mountains and you go out with your buddies, and let's say you have a beer after a great summit climb or whatever, and you come back and you're like craving food. You're like super hungry, and then you go around, you're like, yo, guys, let's go get some food. And you drive out to a restaurant and the restaurant's closed. And then you go to another place and somehow that place is closed. Are you just going to give up and stop? No, you are going to find some food. You are going to find food. When you have a vision for your life and you say, this is really what I want, but also we call it the North Star, the burning desire to achieve what I want, you are not going to be stopped. We live in a world where people are all about motivation and listening to David Goggins, love Goggins, but we put on all this motivational YouTube clips and motivational books and podcasts, but why are we still procrastinating? Simply put, one, we don't have the vision. Two, we don't have enough emotional intensity. Humans take action on emotion. The way that the algorithm works is that thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, actions lead to your results. Procrastination is happening at the action stage, but what is going on before that? It's the feeling, it's the emotion. Do you have that burning desire, purpose to have you continue to take action despite challenges, which you will face? Why? Because this is nature. So the fundamental reason ultimately is that there's a lack of clarity around what you really want and then why you want it.
So my should list will just continue to grow until I tie some why behind each thing that is on my should list. And I mean, that could go even to the most simple of things, like I should wash all my laundry and fold it meticulously. But if there's no reason behind doing that, seemingly that task that seemingly doesn't matter, yes, then it won't get done. Mike, how do we overcome procrastination? How do we clarify what it is that's on our should list, why it matters, and begin to take the actions that will move the needle in the direction that we desire to go?
Totally. So the first thing is that you want to define what you truly want ultimately. And so if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're saying, well, I don't really know what I want. Here's a few good questions to ask yourself. This is one of my favorite ones, Scott, that me and you came across recently. If you had 2 years left to live, how would you want to live? Like, how would you want to live those final 2 years? Sit down and write it out. Like, if people were sitting around in a coffee shop talking about you, right, and you were dead and gone, how would you want them to talk about you, right? And you can think about that in terms of legacy. Wow, Mike Morelli was a leader. He was someone that went against like conventional thought. He showed people a different way of life. That guy inspired people to create their best reality, et cetera, right? How do you want people to talk about you when you're gone? What is the legacy that you want to leave behind? You have 2 years left to live. How do you ultimately want to be spending them? If you could wake up every day and be doing exactly what you want to do, what would that look like? Define ultimately what you want to start moving your life towards. It doesn't need to be a 20-year vision, right? It just needs to be something that you can start working towards now in the next 1 to 2 to 3 years. Then once you have that, one of the things that you can do is ask yourself why you want that. Sit down, ask yourself, why do I really want this? Okay. And when you have an answer that comes up, an answer that is coming from the heart, from the soul, not from the head, an answer that's coming up from the heart, ask yourself again, well, why do I want that? So for example, let's say that you're like, I want to, 2 years from now, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be running my own business remotely. It's making $15,000 a month. And I'm helping people through changing their lives through coaching, just at a high level. All right. And you ask yourself, well, why do I want that? And the first answer that comes up is probably like, well, I want to be free. Well, that's not strong enough, right? A lot of people want to be free. Few are. So then you can ask yourself, well, why do I want to be free? Maybe for you, it was something like, well, for my whole life, I feel like I've kind of been restricted. Why for your whole life do you feel like you've been restricted? And then you can keep kind of going down the different levels and really start to come up with an answer that brings up a lot of emotional intensity for you. And the reason why you want to dig down and find that gold is because you can remind yourself of that every day. I know, Scott, you do remind yourself of your North Star every day. I remind myself of my North Star every day because it's reminding me, hey, this is ultimately my deeper purpose in life. This is what I'm working on. And when you're clear about this is what I am truly focused on a day-to-day basis, you'll find all of those, I should do this, I should do that. Those are going to melt away because they're unimportant and they're not in alignment with the ultimate vision.
Mike, today's conversation has been absolutely incredible. I do want to touch on something. We're running an event May 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern time called How to Build Unstoppable Confidence and Achieve Your Everest-Sized Goals. I believe that building confidence is a necessity to overcoming procrastination, and a lack of confidence, fear, self-doubt, anxiety. All of these are also symptoms of procrastination. So in the presence of low confidence, you're likely also experiencing procrastination around the things that you most enjoy.
Scott, I'll just add in real quick.
Yeah.
I was going to say the two reasons ultimately why we procrastinate. I talked about the vision and lack of purpose. The second fundamental thing is confidence. And I didn't touch on that purely because I wanted to just focus on the purpose element, but thank you for bringing that up. So I'll let you kind of continue there, but these are the fundamentals. Today was a focus on vision and purpose.
Certainly. And Mike, can you kind of just give us a summary of everything that you talked about in terms of procrastination, maybe some resources that people could use to start overcoming some of these hurdles that they're experiencing?
100%. And so just as an overview, like if you're dealing with overthinking, fear of failure, indecision, you're stalling, you're creating excuses and alibis, you're dealing with negative thoughts, then you're dealing with procrastination. You don't need action. You need to go to the programming. You need to go into the mind and solve the internal problem that's happening with a lack of clarity / vision around what you ultimately want and are working towards. And the second thing is solving the emotional problem. Humans take action on emotion. You need to create and find a burning desire for what you want. If you want to take a deeper dive in this, we created a 3-part, it's free, it's a mini course. I strongly recommend, I'm going to include it in the show notes. Go click on the link, get that instant access, and then just go start working through that, because that's what's going to help you define ultimately what you want. And then we're also going to show you how to start breaking it down so you can actually start taking the right actions. Secondly, I'll include it in the show notes too. Actually, this is an email that's going to go out, Scott, right, with about the confidence workshop. But if you're not on our email list, you can get on it by accessing the free mini course. And then we're going to send you some emails about the confidence workshop, how to build unstoppable confidence, that we're running on May 18th. It's going to be epic. You got to be there. I mean, I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this, we'll drop a registration link to the Zoom page for that confidence workshop in the show notes as well. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Absolutely epic session. If you got any value out of this, please take just 5 seconds to write us a quick review on the podcast platform that you're listening to, or share this with some friends that you believe would get value out of this show as well. So we'll see you next week. Peace.
Thanks, guys.